So we're on the bottom of Nun Beis with basic bottom line, and I wasn't able to prepare more than a Amud. So that's all we have today. On the bottom of, it's quite complicated, I think. Try to make it simple. I'll skip the parts that I'm complicated about, but we'll see. The Mishnah says on the Nun Beis that if someone was digging, we said jackhammer, something like that, making a lot of noise, or in those days, whatever they dug made noise. Up the bottom, we call a kriya chayiv, lachrov, we call a kriya potter. Let's scroll back to the Mishnah on Nun Beis and Aleph. Here's the Mishnah. Nafal lefanav, we call a kriya chayiv, lachrov, we call a kriya potter. So Rashi told us some information in the Mishnah that the Chiddush of Kol HaKriya means that the reason he fell in was because somebody was making noise, and the shore fell lefanav, which literally would mean frontward, towards his face. And chayiv. The balabor is chayiv. The korah is not going to be chayiv because it's only a groma. The korah is only a groma. It's only he caused it indirectly, and therefore the korah is potter. And the chiddush is that the bor is chayiv, even though somebody pushed him into the bor, so to speak. He didn't push him in physically or directly, but somebody fell in because of outside reason. Still the bor is chayiv. The rest of the Mishnah says la'achrov kol hakriya is potter. So Rashi tells us, which is not so simple, that the kol hakriya Rashi says is lav dafka. When it says in the beginning, the chiddush was that he's chayiv, even though it was a kol hakriya, even though the reason why he fell in is because of outside noise. Still the bor is chayiv. But the second halacha that it says la'achri kol hakriya is potter, Rashi would say, just for make it extreme, Rashi says you can cross out the word kol hakriya. He's potter because it was la'achra. La'achra is potter. Why is he potter? Because it was la'achra. But kol hakriya, Rashi says, is lav dafka. That's surely not simple, and the Gemara doesn't say beferish like that, and other Rishonim might argue. But the beginning, the first part of the Gemara, we're just going to concentrate on the second part of the Mishnah. So let's erase this part of this part. We're just going to go on la'achrov mikol hakriya is potter, and we're going to try to figure out why is he potter. How come la'achrov mikol hakriya is potter? So we go to the Gemara on the last line of Nun Beis Amud Beis. Amarav lefanav mamish or panav mamish la'achrov mamish. When it says the shore fell lefanav or fell la'achrov, it means literally that he fell on his face or he fell backwards, and that would be l'chorah the simple wording, simple pshat in the words that he fell forward or backward. And the question is, why if the shore falls backward is the balabor potter? What's the difference if he falls forward or backward? V'zeh bebor.
Why say
backwards, the balabor is potter. And we're familiar with that already because Rav told us when we introduced the Shita on Daf Nun number Beis was a question about Chabola, Havla, or Chabota. So Rav Lutamei, Dama Rav, Bor Shechibol of Torah, Havla, V'lo Chabota. Rav holds that when the Torah says Yechai for a bor, it's not because of the impact, it's because of the foul air. We said a couple of days ago, I don't know what the foul air is. I don't know what it is. So we're going with the Gemara that says there's Hevel. And according to Rav, the Hechiv is only for the Hevel and not for the Chabata, not for the impact. Right. And the way that Rav learned it out is because the pasuk says V'nafal, and V'nafal means Derech Nefila, forward. And why should the Torah say it's only high forward? It could fall backward also, because it will be because it's not the impact. If it will be the impact, then it'd be high for the backward fall also. The fact that it only makes difference in the Hevel because the Hevel only affects him when it's forward. Why is that? I don't know. But that's what it seems to say. Avnissan said a few days ago that when it's backward, maybe the shore his head is outside of the bor, not necessarily because the bor is 10 tefachim deep, and even if it's backward, he's still inside with the Hevel. So I don't know.
Rabbi, what does v'zeh mean?
Both cases, the case of lefanav and lachrav, this and this, both cases. The Mishnah says lefanav is chayiv, lachrav is potter. Both cases mean in the bor. The reason why the Gemara is stressing that is because soon the second opinion is going to say differently, that it's not in the bor. But so far Rav says that both of them are in the bor, The fun of a lachrav means forward or backward. Forward is high, backward is butter. Why? Because you're not high for the impact, and the impact would be the same if it would be backward. Also, it fell on its head backward. Also, it will make an impact. But the Torah doesn't say a high for the impact. That's because karka olam. That's not considered you. But the only high for the hevel, and there's no hevel when it is backward. Why? I don't know. I don't even know what hevel means. But by hevel, there's no hevel when it's backward. So Rabbi's fine.
Right? Arrow missed or fume. Yeah, missed that. So we know.
So that's Rav Shah in the Mishnah, and he's happy to say the difference between forward and backward, because backward there is no effect of the hevel. And this really was his whole source. The source was not from the pasuk. Mishnah was from the pasuk. The pasuk says v'nafal, which means there fakila forward, and that's what the Mishnah says according to Rav. That it's only high when it's a forward fall, when it's a backward fall, he's butter, because the hevel doesn't affect you. Shmuel has a problem because Shmuel holds that you are high for the impact, and by the impact there's no difference if it's forward or backward. Right. So how come the Mishnah says backward is butter? Well, Shmuel Amar, it doesn't mean that. The bore, if it would fall into the bore, then there's no difference if it's forward or backward. And the Mishnah doesn't mean that. When the Mishnah says lachrav is butter, it doesn't mean a backward fall in the bore. Shmuel Shmuel holds that he is high for the impact. If you're high for the impact, so you're high if it was a backward fall also. So what does the Mishnah mean when it says lachrav is butter? Now, I would have expected that's going to say something about the, as it says, kol kriya. Like Rashi's going, that the kol kriya doesn't make a difference. That's nothing to do with the Mishnah. It does says ID, but the Torah is not because it was kol kriya. So what is the Torah? What does the Mishnah mean that la'achrav is pater? Why is la'achrav pater? A backward fall also should be higher. To go to niskal b'bor, the nafal achorah yabor, chutz labor. The word la'achrav doesn't mean backward fall. It means behind. He fell behind the bore. Means he didn't fall into the bore. This is you and your pater. Why you pater?
Because he didn't fall into the bore.
Right. So
there's no chiddush.
So there's no chiddush. Let me ask you a question. If somebody slips on a banana peel, is the bala banana peel chayiv? You put on a banana peel. Is he chayiv?
Yeah.
He didn't fall on the. He didn't get hurt from the banana peel. The banana peel just made him slip and he fell onto the sidewalk.
It's a grumman.
So you say pater? You say pater?
I mean, it's less chayiv than chiyuv. It's not the full chiyuv. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if it's pater. It's still maybe.
He said over here that the achrav is pater. If the shore fell, he slipped on the bore. Then he slipped because the guy was making noise with the jackhammer, right? And he fell out of the bore. So Shmuel says he pater. You know why? Because he didn't fall into the bore. So I think everybody's going to jump up. I jumped up. I don't get it. That it means if someone puts a banana peel and somebody slipped on it and he hurt it, he broke his bones or he died, and the mazik said, I didn't do anything. I just caused that he should fall onto the sidewalk, but it's not my sidewalk. And even Shmuel, that the whole Rav said, even if you fall into the ball for the impact, you putter, because I'm not chayv an impact. That's kagolam. But Shmuel said, no, it's your ball. But that's only when it's your ball. But if it's now that he didn't fall into the ball, he fell past the ball. So I'm not chayv. Most of the bars that we have is always falling on the sidewalk. Someone puts something up, you trip. When someone trips, what happens that he trips? He falls onto the sidewalk. If someone puts a knapsack in the aisle and then somebody falls and he says, you made a bore. He said, what bore? He fell on the sidewalk. He didn't fall on my knapsack. Right. So huge chiddush, huge chiddush.
What about the excrement of the cow? Is that called a bore? Is that called something?
What does that have to do with us?
Because it's like a banana peel.
What happened with the excrement? What happened? Tell me the story.
He slipped on the.
And where did he fall?
Broke his leg.
Where? On the sidewalk. So then it's the same case. What's the difference if it's a banana peel or it's water or it's excrement or
it's not called bore? No, it's not called.
I'm not following. We're talking about it as a bore, but he didn't fall into the bore. Right. He tripped on the bore and he fell on the sidewalk. And we're saying now that you put even according to Shmuel. And this is like the biggest chiddush, that whenever we talk about a bore, we always say someone tripped on it, and Moshe said for sure you're chayiv. And here it says he put it. And it says in Shulchan Aruch he put it. Shulchan Aruch says you put it. That this case that you tripped and you fell on the sidewalk, past the bore, not in the bore, you put it. Rav holds you put it even if the impact of the bore, also you put it. Only chayiv for the hevel, you couldn't know what it is. But the
halacha is like Rav.
Halacha like Shmuel.
Oh, good.
No, but now I'm going even so till now. But now Shmuel says the only chayiv if he fell in the impact of the bore. But if he fell onto the impact of the sidewalk, which is not the bore that he dug, he just tripped on the bore and he fell on the sidewalk. Shmuel also says that he's pater. V'chein halacha.
On the other hand, the Gova you're chayiv.
So this is asking Tosfos Kasha. Tosfos has a kasha that it says in the Gemara earlier that if somebody made a gova, he made a height, and that caused that the shore should go up the height, and then he fell onto the sidewalk, l'chora, he is chayiv because there's no hevel, but according to Shmuel there's impact. And Avnis is asking that Agamor says even according to Shmuel, that's only if he fell into the bore.
Right.
He didn't fall into the bore. What?
It's an impact of 10 tefachim.
Yeah, maybe because
Yes.
it's because there was an inkling.
And now here, it's not an impact of 10
What's the
tefachim.
difference?
And you slip on a banana peel. It's not an impact of 10 tefachim.
Right.
What's the
Not an
difference?
impact of a board.
I'm not following. What's the difference if it's 10 tvachim or not? Nezek is chayiv and Ashar is chayiv and Nezakim and this. What's the difference if it's 10 tvachim? 10 tvachim is for me, so less than.
Because 10 tefachim is a board.
And 9 tvachim is also a bar. It's a bar.
Without head.
Again, less than a bar. 10 is a bar for the Nezakim. So we're talking about not talking about me. So I'm on Nezakim. So Nezakim also. So Rashmuel says you put on the Nezakim of a bar that you didn't fall into the bar, and that's what the halacha says. That if someone tripped and he fell, the zaken, and so he's putter because he didn't fall into the bar. He fell on the sidewalk. He's a huge chiddush. I mean, that's what took so long today. That's what comes out. That's what took long in the preparation, but that's what comes out. That seems to be the halacha. And the catch is from Gova. The Gova, the Gemara says Shmuel is Yachai. And the catch is also not on the bar. How come Shmuel says Chai? Taisa has two terutzim. One is that's only in the case where the bar also is it fell into your bar. What has been your bar? That he fell into a little bar. You made a little bar. You made a goba 5 tvachim. You made also a bar 5 tvachim, and the thing died. It died because of the impact. So one teretz says that the case of the goba, Taisa says two teretzim back over there, and one teretz says that he also dug. It was a goba and also that he dug, and the impact was the impact of 10 tvachim, and he's high for the misa. And Shmuel only said it because he holds that you're high for the impact of the bore, and he fell into the bore. What if it would have fallen onto the sidewalk? He didn't dig it. He caught him. Big dog from the Gemara over there. But the other teretz says maybe we'd like the other teretz, but it's not going to be the halacha. The other teretz says that our Gemara is not like Rashi. Our Gemara means dafka because of the kol hakriya, that a combination that you didn't cause him to fall, and also he didn't fall into your bore. That's the p'tur. Our Gemara that says you put for falling on the sidewalk past the bar is only because you didn't trip on the bar either. You weren't the takala and you weren't the nezek. You weren't the thing that tripped him and you weren't the thing that he fell into. So then you put it. But if he did trip on your thing, then you are fine. And that's nice. We'd be happy with that. But we're not passing like the Tosfos. I mean, the Shulchan Aruch doesn't say like the Tosfos. The Shulchan Aruch says that you put there, even according to Shmuel, if the impact wasn't in the ball. What do you say? You can stop already for today. Like that's the.
So he's talking about really with Paskin. You slip on a banana peel and
He got hurt.
and you
But
that's the halacha.
I don't know. That's the Shulchan Aruch. Right, so the Gemara brings down that some Rishonim argue this Tosfos over here. That's two terutzim. So some hold that Shmuel also holds Yichayiv if it was the takala or the nezik, either one. The Gemara is going to talk about later the opposite case that he fell on something else and fell into your bar. He tripped on something and he fell into the bar. That'll be later on. But here that he tripped on your bar and fell on the sidewalk. So our Gemara seems to say potter. And Tosfos says potter. And others say it's only potter if the fall was not your fault. Like over here, they're saying that kol kriya is dafka. Before I said in the Mishnah, Rashi says kol kriya is lav dafka. Lachra be kol kriya is potter. Even if it wouldn't be kol kriya, would not be kol kriya. Even if it would have been that he fell in because of your ball, also your potter. The Tosfos says it's hard to say not like that. That kol kriya is dafka. The only reason why you potter is because the tripping was not on your bar and the falling was not on your bar. But if he tripped on your bar, he would be fine. But the Shulchan Aruch doesn't say that. Shulchan Aruch seems to say that if someone fell from the impact on the sidewalk, that's what damaged him, even though he tripped because of you, your banana peel, still your pattern. Huge chiddush, huge chiddush.
You think it was Sudiria?
What?
No, we think it was Sudiria.
That sidewalk.
That's what they'll do. They trip on the side. But it's Sudiria.
But so it means that you're being to them into the ball, right? That's how could it be that
I throw a banana peel. And the guy slips in and he's going to sue the area because he banged his head on the sidewalk, but it's my banana peel. And I'm I go free.
So we have to know that at the bar below Caleb, that there's another thing. Even if it would be a bar, there's only time for the nezek done to the man and not to the king. He broke his watch and his tear and his suit and all that, and that the bar put on Caleb. So
It's
got-
short below the also.
shor v'lo the lo shor v'lo misa sada. But it's chayv aniske yada. I think I got it right. I think so. Shor v'lo put on misa v'chayv aniske. I think it's chayv aniske yada. I forgot the details. I think so. And bar v'lo Caleb. Okay.
Wow.
So this is the Gemara. What's the case that Shmuel is going to be more that falling backwards is a patur, not backwards. It doesn't mean backwards, it's a mistake. That's Rav's shot. Shmuel says lachra means outside the bore. He tripped on the bore, but he fell. He tripped on the bore. Something about Kol Kriya still. Kol Kriya, okay, Kol Kriya, maybe. But he tripped on the bore and he fell past the bore. What's the bore? That's the reason why he put that. So Mamash basic machlokas now on the Mishnah when it says lachra pater, according to Rav, it means backwards in the bore. Pater because there's no hevel, and according to Shmuel, outside the bore is pater because you didn't fall on my bore. Esvei, Akasha on Rav, because the Perishah Brisa says, here's the Brisa. The bore, bein lefana bein lachra chayim. It seems to say word for word what Rav said, that if it's in the bore, even if he fell la'achra, I'm sorry. No, this is Akasha. This is Shmuel. This is like Shmuel, right?
Kasha on Rav.
Kasha on Rav. Kasha on Rav. In the bore is fine. Which how do you read these words? Lachra means backward. In the bore, you can't say it like doesn't mean outside the bore. It means in the bore. It fell backwards. Fine. Bob says falling backwards is pater because it's only impact, and there's no hevel when it's backward. And here it doesn't say that. The Brisa seems to be against Rav. Chief to the Rav. So we're gonna have a couple of terutzim. First one is Amar of Chizda. Amar of Chizda. Mo de Rav b'bor b'shus of the Chayiv. The whole talk of Rav, when you're falling in the bore with the impact, it's only because it has not my impact. It doesn't belong to me. That ground doesn't belong to me. I went to Rishus of Rabin and I dug a bore. So I'm high for the bore. But the karka, not the hevel I brought in. Whatever that means again, the hevel comes in. But I brought the hevel in. But the impact was the karka was there the whole time. It's that's the hefker. It's karka olam. So Rav only says that when it will be bor b'shus Rabin. But we had a machlokes, a bor that the Torah talks about as bor b'shus Rabin, bor b'shus Yachid. And we have paskin chayv on both. Now the Gemara is saying I don't think we saw this till now that even Rav that says that karka olam is pater for the impact is only when it's bar b'shus Rabim. Then he says it's not my karka. But we had that also bar b'shus Yachid is also chayv. If somebody dug a bor b'shus Yachid next to the water where people can fall in without realizing it, so he's chayv also. And over there we can't say. There Rav is also asking that he's chayv on the impact because it is your impact. That's a huge chiddush, I think. I mean, small chiddush, big chiddush. I don't think we mentioned it till now. More the Rabbi Bar B'shus of the Chayiv, and the Brisa that's talking about the the bar is Chayiv, even if it went backwards, is only because it's a Bar B'shus. Mishum Dam Alein, Mamanav Shaf. Iba Havlam is Havla Didachu. Iba Chabata is Chabata Didachu. Because here we can't say that it's your Chabata. By the regular Bar B'shus of Rabbi, so Rav says that it says it's not my Chabata. It's only my Hevel, what? Karka, but here it's not Karka. The Gemara is a little bit long to say this way. He should say about the Manavshach. It probably should have just said that it's your. The Gemara should have said Achorov there is no Hevel, but there is Chavata. It's not Karka. No, it's not Karka because it's yours. The Gemara's wording is a little difficult to her. I don't know, but that's the first error. So the Brisa Rav still agrees to still takes his position that you're not chayav for the impact, and if it will be backwards. He wouldn't be high because there's no hevel. But if it's a bar b'shusa, then he is high for the impact. Then it'll be high even if it's backwards. That was teretz number one. Rabbi Amar, second teretz to explain Rav. The case was that he turned over. Even though the Brisa says he's high, which simply means that he fell backwards. No, the case of the backwards is going to be that first it was frontwards. That he turned over mid-air. That first he fell frontwards and then he turned over mid-air and he fell on his back. Rashi says before the actual fall, the fall was on his back. So he did a somersault in mid-air, whatever that would be. What? Big ball, but pretty big ball. The shore was there. We don't have such a case. Big ball, big shore, big ball. Small shore, big ball. So what happened over here? So what's the answer? The kasha was that you're not high for the impact. So why is the Chayban is backwards? The answer was there was Hevel. There is Hevel. There's no Hevel if it's backwards. The answer was first it was frontwards. The Hevel that came into his nostrils, whatever, that affected him, it affected him even after he turns on his back.
Even though it was before he hit 10 tefachim.
Even though
It was before he hit the 10 tefachim. You have to say that the fall was on his back, but the hevel was before he hit the back.
But I think I don't know what Hevel is. I can say whatever I want, right? So I'm going to say that when there's a bar of 10 tefachim which has Hevel, the whole Hevel becomes fatal.
No, when we said that
Another saying.
the 10th tefachim said that.
Machorev na. If he falls Machorev, then he
No,
doesn't.
but the bar has hevel of 10 tefachim. So we said that the 10th tefach of hevel
Is the one that he brought in.
Right.
When he did it Hevel on top, then it wasn't his Hevel. The Hevel was there. The Hevel changed into. No, when it's
How come only Misapich?
how come backwards is no Hevel.
Because his head is closer to the top. The Hevel, the bigger Hevel is on the bottom. There's more. It says over here also, no? The only Nafala Akri Misapich, then he's.
The Hevel came into his nostrils, and now
When
it's
he was
still.
down there.
And now it's now he has
died. He already died when he went to his Hapa.
before his hour,
But that was
He-
before 10
It was
tefachim.
Nafala Akri.
and he
To the
did.
bottom. He turned over.
Rashi says it over here, whatever Rashi says.
Ah.
No,
Rashi
of course,
must
we're
have-
there because otherwise,
Oh,
otherwise
his
it's,
face didn't hit.
can't say.
Why did Rashi say that? Why did Rashi say that he fell, that he turned in midair?
Because I want to say that he's falling on his back. If
Because
he fell,
it
if he
says
fell
lava.
10 tefachim,
And then he rolled over.
then
That's
rolled over,
that's
not
already
falling on his back.
that's already Itoshi should whatever. That's the next department. It wasn't the mezek. Wasn't the mezek.
So my problem with that is that the hevel wasn't the 10th tefachim. It was only hevel the nizakin.
Because only the bottom hevel is the hevel that's fatal.
It's just to help us not understand anymore.
Okay, I have difficulty with hevel. I don't know what it is. So whatever you told me, like
I'm just adding to the difficulty.
yeah.
It makes you see it. I was right.
So what's the answer? So I have a shot. What?
Good, good.
I have a shot. I don't know, but not helping the problem. Just how to read the Gemara. How does he put into the Brisa that he fell backwards, that he fell frontwards and then turned over? How do you see in the Brisa? It says frontward or backward. He's saying backwards means it was frontward. So I'm just saying a possibility that he's reading it. Bein lefanav bein lachor means that he had not either or, but both. He fell both forward and backward. That means that he did both. It was first frontward and backwards. Don't think that since it ended was backwards, so it's reason to be potter. Since the beginning it was the fun of, that's why it's chayv, even though it ended up being lachlo. I think he's putting it into the words, but as far as the understanding, I don't have. And the third shot is Rav Yosef. Rav Yosef a revolutionary shot that when it says in this brisa, let's take off this green over here. That's what I'm doing again. Okay. This was the brisa again. So the first is that the shore fell into the bore and he got damaged from the bore. That's what the whole time. She says, no, this brisa was from a different sechta, different parak. This is talking about that the shore damaged the bore. The shore damaged the bore. The mamish opposite. There's not usually the bore damages the shore that falls in, but it could be that the shore damaged the bore, like it says right away. We had such a kind of case before. The damage of the bore from the shore. Mind you, that the shore was dirty and it had water, and now the bar had water and the shore was dirty when it fell in, so it made the water foul. So now the time is on the shore damaged the bar. Over there, there's no difference if it's forwards or backwards. The lotion of fun of lotion of lachrim, and the Bryce is just contrasting that as far as the bar being mazik the shore, it's only the fun of not lachrim. As far as the shore,
And it's rising the ball. What's the very damage?
right?
The boards are nazik. Mazik.
The bar is not a mazik. The bar is has water inside. It wasn't mazik anybody. It wasn't mazik anybody. It could be that it came into somebody's bar. The shore came into somebody else's chutzner and fell into the bar and ruined his water. And the bala bar takes the bala shore to the Torah. Your shore came into my resource and it damaged my water. So then he says it fell in backwards. So shkoyach, it doesn't make a difference if it fell backwards. Falling in backwards will be a difference if the bar mazik the shore, but the shore mazik the bar. There's no difference which way it is. So Rav got out of the kasha. There was a kasha of Bryce against Rav, and Rav Chisda, Rabbah, and Rav Yosef all to defend Rav. And the one even has a Bryce like Rav. Tani Rabbi Chananya. Let's see where the Rav Chananya said over a Bryce which supports Rav. It says in the pasuk v'nafal. This is a word for what Rav said 2 pages ago. Rav said this is a source. My time with the Rav. Where does Rav get you potter on Havata? Because it says in the pasuk v'nafal. Rav said that implies that if the regular way, forward. How come the Torah talks about falling forward? Because he's not high for backward because there's no hello. And the Brisa says word for word. V'nafal. The pasuk says v'nafal shamash more. Only if he falls the regular way. You can't have v'nafal. The fana mikol kriya chayu. Lachem mikol kriya potter. So the Brisa says beferish that he's chayu. This is the source that you're chayu only frontward, but not backward. Even inside the bore. Not like Shmuel said that la'achrav means outside the bore. In the bore, you put if it's backwards. Why? Because there's no you're not high for the chavata. You're only high for the hevel, and there's no hevel when it's backwards. It says again the word's kol hakriya is going back on the Mishnah, and then the question was if kol hakriya is dafka or not. Rashi says that kol hakriya is lav dafka. As far as this point we're saying now, according to Rav, the issue is there's no hevel when it's backwards, so it doesn't make a difference why you fell with kol hakriya, even if you fell because of the bore. I'm not high. So you have to say this word kol hakriya is lav dafka. We spoke about Teshuvos and Rashi. That was in Shmuel l'chara, but in Rav, l'chara for sure there's no difference if it was we call it kriya not. You're not high for the backward fall because you're not high for the impact. So we had the sugya, and it's a parish brisa like Rav, but we pass like Shmuel. We pass like Shmuel that you're not high you are high for the chavata. And our chiddush today was that even according to Shmuel, you only high if you fell into the bore, the impact of the bore itself, even though it's karka olam. We have on the other hand, we found that Rav holds that in the bore b'shas hayachid, he also agrees that you're high for the chavata. And Shmuel holds it not that you're high for the chavata even in b'shas harabah. But today's chiddush was that that's only in the bore. But if you slipped on the bore and you fell on the sidewalk, even according to Shmuel, you potter, and that's the halacha. And I don't know what to say. That was the end of the Mishnah. Back to the Mishnah. And what are we going to call? We're going to call it groma. That you're not chayiv on groma. The Torah says chayiv on bor. But this is but not a groma.
That's not a.
Yeah, surely not a good thing to do. I chayiv to pay, so it could be not. This is the Mishnah that so till now we learned the end of the Mishnah on Daf Nun Beis Aleph. Now we're going to the beginning of the words, the first words that says. We're going to talk about now. We're going to focus on this part. Till now we focused on Rav and Shmuel. What does it mean backward? Does Rav mean backwards? What does it mean outside the bore? Okay. Now we're going backward. Now we're going back. Now we're going reverse to the beginning of the Mishnah. Now for the fun of it, kol hakriya chayiv. So there's a kol hakriya. Somebody's digging over there, and that scared the shore, and that's the reason why it fell in. And it's chayiv. The bala bor is chayiv. And the digger seems to be potter because it's a groma. It's only indirect. It shows also potter on groma. So the Gemara starts now. Nun gimel amar aleph. Amamar. I don't know what Amamar means. It's a Mishnah. I'm not sure why it says Amamar. I didn't check the Gersos. The Chorah Amamar is only when you quoted Gemara earlier, but this is the Mishnah. Now for the fun of call like kriya chayiv. Those words that we just had. Now for the fun of call like kriya chayiv. Mishnah. B'amai name a korah gormalei. How come the bar is chayiv? Let him say that the guy he's the one who caused him to fall in. Then the bar alone he wouldn't have fallen in. That's the worst kasha. That bar should say on potter because he was pushed in by the kol kriya, kol koreh. Nema korah gormalei. That's the kasha. Amar Rav Simi Barashi Hamani Avinasani. The Amar Bala Bar Zeka Kovid. The Gemara is going to, I don't see an answer to the kasha. The Gemara is just going to say that Rav Nosson doesn't hold the kasha. The kasha, the Gemara held for Dava Pasha, that if somebody pushed the shore into the bore could be potter, because I didn't do it, you pushed it into the bore. So we're going to find that Rav Nosson doesn't hold like that. So it's not, I don't know if it's a kasha with a terror. It's just like the Gemara held like the Rabbanan, that the fact that someone pushed him into the bore is the reason why the bore should be potter. And Rav Nosson doesn't hold like that. Rav Nosson knows that the bore is chayiv even if somebody pushed him in.
I'm sorry, I'm missing what's happening here. Somebody's digging and they fall into a different bore, or the digging sound makes him fall into the bore he's digging. Where is the digging?
I don't know if it makes a difference.
Well, what
I
does
don't
he
know.
say here? He says, I
Rashi
don't know what it means.
presents it that it's
Hazibor,
inside the bore, but I don't know if it makes a
Hazib,
difference.
I was trying to ask.
It's a bore. There's a bore that's dug. And Ruvain is the Bala bore, either because he opened it or he dug it. Ruvain is the Bala bore. There's somebody else that was digging. Where was he digging? Either in the bore or on a nearby building site, as far as I'm concerned. Like, I don't know the difference. It's because he made noise. Somebody made noise. I don't see a difference where he's digging. He's digging this bore, next bore, or he's digging, or he's making noise. Oh, making firecrackers. It has nothing to do with digging. It's just noise. He's making noise. Somebody's making a big noise.
I see,
Scary
and
noise.
Rav Nosson
And
is
the
saying the
scary
guy,
part of the
that since he fell into the bore, that's what caused the damage. It has nothing to do with the firecracker. Is that what Rav Nosson's saying?
I didn't get to Rav Nosson yet. I'm not sure where you are, but you didn't get that. So far, you're ahead of me. The Gemara is the kash on the Mishnah. Why is the bor chayiv if the shark fell in because he was frightened? The reason he fell in is because he was frightened, and the bor should be potter. Then he comes to Bezdin, he says, your shark fell into my bor only because he was frightened. So go to the one who frightened him. What does that have to do with me? The one who frightened him is going to be potter because of grama. But I'm potter because my bor didn't cause the damage, only because somebody frightened him, and that's why he fell in. That's the most kasha name of Korah. Let us say that the digger, the one who made the noise maker is what caused it, and therefore I should be potter. We're going to find Rav Nosson holds that that's not a teretz. Rav Nosson is going to hold that the bor is chayiv even though somebody else caused the shore to fall in. The Amar Balabar Zekikavit, he says that the bor caused the damage. Where did he fall? He fell into the bor. The bor caused the damage, even though somebody pushed him in, so to speak. That's an extra added chiddush that even though the pusher should also be chayiv sometimes, but if he doesn't have to pay for some reason, so the bala bor is chayiv for the whole damages. The Gemara is touching on to another point now, that let them at least be shutfim. The one who pushed him in, on the one and the bor that he fell into, let them at least be shutfim. Both of them should be chayiv, and each one should pay half. And here we're saying that the bala bor is chayiv. The digger, the noisemaker, is potter because it's only a grama. But still, he did have to look at it like he did have the damage, and he's potter for his half because he's a grama, and the bala boy did have the damage, and he should be chayiv half. And the Gemara says no. Nosson says two chedushim. First of all, that the bor is chayiv, and he can't have a ptor that someone pushed him into me. I should be potter l'gamri. No taina. That's the main point the Gemara wanted to know, and the answer is that Nosson knows it's not a ptor. You're still chayiv for your bor even though somebody pushed him in. And the second point is that you're not even called a shutuf. Even more, you're fully responsible. And if the other half doesn't have enough money to pay, or he's not responsible to pay, but like this case, that the noisemaker is not responsible to pay, so you have to pay the whole thing. Not only have to pay half. The most cash was you should pay nothing. The answer is it goes according to Rav Nosson, you pay half, and it goes according to Rav Nosson that you pay whole. If you have a shutuf that be chayiv, then you pay half and half. If you have no shutuf that's going to chip in, you have to pay the whole thing. I think one now is going to bring down Rav Nosson. Lev Yaakov, is everything good so far?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, the Tanya. Now goes to where he spoke about. He didn't speak about Amish. He spoke about a different case. One shore pushed another shore into a bore. So you have Reuben, Shimon, and Levi. Reuben shore pushed Shimon's shore into Levi's bore. So Reuben and Levi, they were accomplices, so to speak, or they're responsible for their accomplices, for their Niske moment, that Reuben's shore and Levi's bore killed Shimon's shore. So he brings both of them to Bezdin. So Shor Shadach Veschaber the bor. Bala Shor Chai, Bala Bor Potter. Tanna Kamma says that Bala Bor says I'm exempt because he didn't fall into my bor, he's pushed into my bor. So the shore has to pay everything. So in this case, if Reuben shore pushing Shimon shore into Levi's bor, Tanna Kamma says that the Bala Bor goes free. Levi's Potter, because he says he didn't fall into my bor, he's pushed into my bor. Go to the pusher. So he goes to the pusher, Reuben, and he has to make the whole thing. This was not a case of groma. This was not making noise. This was a shore pushed. So the shore pushed his chayv. So this Tanna Kamma would hold, as far as the noisemaker is potter, but the bor also would be potter because the bor says, he didn't fall in, he was pushed in. He's pushed in not physically, he was pushed in indirectly. The Tanna Kamma holds like the kasha. Tanna Kamma says, korridor only. But Rav Nosson Omer, Bala Mishalim Metza, Bala Bor Mishalim Metza. But the Rav Nosson says that the bor is chayv. That was the main kasha. The bor should be potter because someone pushed him in. The answer is Rav Nosson does not like that. Rav Nosson holds that the bor is chayv even if somebody pushed him in. Well, now the case over here happens to be that there was a pusher. There was an actual pusher, the Bala Shor. So he also has to pay half. In the case of our case, that Korah pushed him in, that the digger that made noise, the noisemaker, that it's called the grumma, so he doesn't have to pay because he's a grumma. Grumma ben Zakan is butter. Even the shor did a grumma is butter. But now, but Rav Nosson is going to say that since nobody else is paying the other half, he has to pay the whole thing. Nothing was going to go in too soon. That it's not considered just he did half the damage, he did the whole damage. And if he has a partner good, you're not going to pay twice, so they can split the cost. But if there's nobody paying the other half, so then the Baal Bar is high and everything. The one's going to go into that soon. But we really inherently we're happy already that we found Rav Nosson doesn't hold the kasha. This kasha the answer is Rav Nosson doesn't hold that. Which is not so much of a kasha in the terror. It's just saying we thought that it should be potter. You're right. Rav Nosson doesn't hold like that. But Rav Nosson says that Baal Bar did do a hesek and he's high and he's going to even say you're high the whole thing, not only half. The Gemara continues. But Tanya, there's another price, also the same case. A shore pushed another shore into a bore. The first price said each one pays half. This is according to Rav Nosson. We're only going at Rav Nosson. The Bava Kamma we don't hold like, and we're not going to pass like the Bava Kamma. Pass like Rav Nosson. So one of Nosson says that maybe trying to highlight his differences over here. One of Nosson says that he pays half. Allah bor mishallah mechza, bala bor mishallah mechza. And the other price was bala bor mishallah shlosha chalakim and bala shor revia. In either case, the victim is going to get fully paid, either half and half, or a case of 3/4 and a quarter. Why should that be? That's the most kasha. Why should it be 3/4 and a quarter? Why should the shor only pay a quarter? So the first thing, Tom, lo kasha, have a time of a muad. If the shor is a muad, so and the bor is always a muad, so you have both of them did a shutfis, so each one's chayiv chatzin nezik. But if the shor is a short tam, so he gets two this. He has a partner, and also he's a tam, so only basic quarter. And then the Baal Bor has to fill in for all the money that's not being paid, like I said before, that if there's not enough money, if you can't extract the money from one of them, the other one has to pay the rest of it. That's why he's going to pay 3/4, he's going to pay 1/4. But the Gemara is not happy about that. Ubatam Maika Sava. Ika Sava, Haikula Azek Abad, Haikula Azek Abad, Haimishal and Palga, Haimishal and Palga. Vika Sava. We're going to take it slow. We're still in the middle of a sentence. But the Gemara is two studied. When you have shutfim, when you have two people that damaged together, accomplices they did together, you look at it, each one has full responsibility, each one has only half responsibility. Is there any other application you can talk about such kind of an idea? Shutfim, do you say that each one did the whole thing? Shutfim in a hezek. Nothing to do with
Kotan and one's a Golo. Huh?
Right, but I'm saying in the case that you look when you have shutfim do something, do you look at it that each one did half, or each one did whole?
Each one did whole.
Each one did a whole.
Yeah.
And happens to have another shutf, so then, but he wouldn't have done it by himself.
Right.
What?
So he's lucky that someone else is going to share with
It happens to be, well, you don't have to pay double, but that's the abstract, that the point, that each one did the whole thing. Even though each one didn't do the whole thing, sometimes each one wouldn't be able to do it by himself. If he just would have pushed, one show was pushing, so he would have pushed, down the street, but nothing would have happened. But he pushed him into the bar. So could the show you say that you did the whole damage?
I think over here we're still talking in case that the show pushed, the one that he pushed. It was that he kicked him in a way that the Negicha itself would have killed him.
Would have killed him?
And if he would have continued walking, he would have fell into the bar, no? Now, what do you mean he did the whole thing?
I think they were
How did Shor do
accomplices.
it?
The Shor pushed him into the Shor wasn't strong enough to kick him, but he saw the bar, and the Shor knows that a bar is dangerous. He's careful himself; he shouldn't fall in, and now he wants to push him in. So he pushes him into the bar. That's what I thought the case was.
By himself?
What?
How can you say that each one did the whole thing? Whether the Shor did the whole thing?
I think that's the case.
Without the Shor.
That each one, like Zani Yochel kind of thing, that each one only together, and still the Gemara looks at it that each one did the whole thing. It could be that has to do with Zani Yochel. It could be over there. Zani Yochel is more reason that what that it's Zani Yochel is called what is called, but and Zani Yochel is more. I forgot. Zani Yochel is more chayiv than Zani Yochel. That's what the Gemara look. The Gemara talks about it. It gives both sides equal possibility. That is, when you have shutfim that were mazik, do you look at it? Each one did the whole damage, or do you look at each one did half the damage? So the Gemara takes each side. Mike over Saba. what do we hold? What are you holding? Ikasav Haikul, or by more also, but Ikasav Haikul Ezekov, but each one did the whole thing. Means really each one's Chayv Nezek Shalom. But if you have a partner, you have a partner. But Hai Mishal and Palga, Hai Mishal and Palga. What's the difference if he's a tam? You have a muad, you have a bor, which is always a muad, bor pays Nezek Shalom, and you have a tam that pays Chatzi Nezek. But how much is the Chatzi Nezek? How much is the Nezek? How much? We look at the short time. How much did he damage? He damaged the whole thing. Each one did the whole damage. He's chayv the whole thing. Let's say damage was whatever, $100. So the short tam did $100 damage, and the chazi nezik is going to be $50. Okay, now yafet. And now the bor did $100 damage, and he has to pay $100, but he has a shutuf, so he pays 50. So even if you, so the more wants that even if you say that it's a short tam, still you should pay 50-50. Are you happy with that? That even if you say I have a shutuf, but you really did the whole damage. You can't say a half of a half because you're half of a whole because you did the whole damage. If you have a partner, that's going to pay. So you don't have to pay twice. But that's the whole time. The whole time you shouldn't pay twice. But you did $100 damage, you have to pay half, which is 50. And the board did $100 damage, and he has to pay 100, but he has a shutuf. So Kash is that even if it be a tam and a board, also should pay 50-50. What?
More than a boy.
A tam and a board, no?
Oh.
A more than a bar for sure is 50-50. We want to say that a tam and a bar is a quarter and 3/4. We're saying no, it should be the tam should also have to pay half nezek. Because of first wide line. Because of high palgazekov, that when two shutfim are mazik, so each one did only half. Maximum, each one did is only the half. So what's going to be? So the balapar pays half. And the balapar pays half, right? He only did half. If you say that each one has a shut, it's a half. So the balabar only did half. So the maximum you can get from the balabar is half. And the tam, he did only a half, and he pays chatzi nezek is a quarter. But there's no reason why the balabar should have to fill in for the other quarter. Balabar mishal and palgo bala shor revia vidach reviva mafsid. That's the kasha that it shouldn't be 3/4. They have no case of 3/4 and a quarter. Either you have a case of half and a half. If you hold each one did a whole nezek. If each one did a half a nezek, so it's true the balabar pays only half, but the bala shor tam should also only pay a quarter, and the other quarter is lost. So where do you get a case of paying 3/4 and a quarter? Amar, that's the most kasha. That the price that it says 3/4 and a quarter doesn't make sense. Second white line, Amar Rav Avinasan Dayanu V'Nachas Lam Kodadina. Rav Nasan was a dayan. He is actual practicing dayan, and therefore he understands the depth of the din. That means he was giving a compliment to Rav Nasan that's very smart. La'olam kasava haikula ezeka abba haikula ezeka abba. Really, each one did a whole. The kash was if each one did a whole, so how come the short time has to pay a quarter? He should pay a half. Well, the kakash lach l'shal my palga by palga. Kash was he should pay a half. The answer is mishum dam malay balashol the balabor shutfusay maya hanyali. What does my partnership help me? Which we don't understand the answer. I don't understand the answer. That the shutfus would help you. It's true. Shutfus doesn't help you anything because you would have paid the half damages anyway because you're a short time. You did the whole $100 damage and you have to pay half. And your shutfus is not helping you because it's true. But it doesn't. The most kasha was doesn't make a difference. You did the whole damage, and therefore you're chayiv chatzi nezek. So pay chatzi nezek. It's true that the bala bar is also there, but the bala bar is also only paying half a nezek. Why should you get a double discount? That was the Gemara's kasha. So what's the Gemara's answer? Your shut was not helping you anything. There is not a girsa that maybe is a little better. Tamusoi maya hanyali. It doesn't help me anything. You're a muad. You're a bar. You bore a chayiv nezek shalom. I'm only chayiv chatzi nezek, and both of us are paying the same. The fact that I have a Torah of a tam should also be a benefit me. That I only should have to pay a quarter, and therefore you have to pay the rest. I'm not sure what the answer is. You could say that each one holds only half. The kasha was that if so, the Baal Shor should only pay a quarter and not have to pay, and the Baal Bar also shouldn't have to pay more than a half, and the third and the second quarter, whatever, the last quarter should be lost. With the Kakashalach Baal Bar Mishal and Palga Baal Shor Mishal Rivia, Vidach Riva Nafsid, the answer is Mishum Damalei, Baal Shor Baal Bar, and not to word Bivir Hashkachise. Ad Ketalte, my disli the Shtalumi Mihech Mishtalimna, my delasli the Shlumi Mihech Mishtalam Lamina. Just a translation. the Bala Shor Nizik, the Nizik, the one that damaged. He says to the Bala Bor, I found my shore in your bore, and you killed it. And what I have, whatever I can get paid from the other one, I'll get paid. Whatever not, then you have to pay. What's the answer to the Gemara? Not so clear. It seems to say like the Bala Bor did do everything. Even if you hold each one did half, still the Bala Bor is high for everything. Why is that? So Taisa seems to explain that the Gemara means that even if you hold usually that that each one does half, if you have two shvarm that, let's say two shvarm that did damage another shore, then you'll say half and half. But by the bor is different. Bor is different because that's where the Makah Bapatish was. That's where he ended up. Taisa says two lashonos. I'm not sure what the difference is, but okay, near the bor nam but Gomar Hezek, but Doma Kamisha is so cool. That's why it's worse. The first Taisa starts saying that. By Shnei Shvarim, it will be half and half, but by a Shor and a Bor, the Bor is considered all because he is the one who actually killed him. Two Shvarim, they kill together, but the Shor and the Bor pushes into the Bor is the one that did the damage. So here is considered, the Bor did do the whole Nezek. What Tyson says, even though it's really only did half of the Nezek, but it's considered that he did the whole Nezek because he found them over there. That's where the dead carcass is. So I'm not sure of the exact shot in the Gemara about any of the teretz, but the Gemara says that by a time it would be 3/4 and a quarter. Just to pass over the main
The
point.
Gemara needs all this in order to answer the kasha.
That
So
3/4 and 1/4.
We need the 3/4 in order to answer.
So now Rabbi Pinchas is saying that go back to the Mishnah. The Mishnah said that if the Korah, the noisemaker, caused that the shore should fall into the bor is chayiv everything. And the Gemara said the bor should be put up from everything because it wasn't didn't fall in, it got pushed in by indirectly, but it got pushed in. So the first answer is Rav Nosson. Rav Nosson doesn't hold the Aptur. Whatever the pshat is, Rav Nosson doesn't hold the Aptur. A bor is not potter because it was pushed in. If it got pushed in, also the bor is chayiv. There's another point to talk about, but let the Korah also be chayiv, or even if it's not chayiv because he's a groma, but at least he did half of it, and therefore I only did half. Each one's only half. So then the Bala bor should only have to pay half. That would be the kasha you have to ask, even after you say that's Rav Nosson. So we say no. Rav Nosson says that the bor has to pay for everything that the pusher doesn't have to pay for. If he's paying, either because each one did the whole damage, which is very hard to say that the pusher did the whole damage. Okay, but the bor did the whole damage. He has a ptor. If he has somebody that he could share the expense with, so he won't pay that double. But if not, then he has to pay. That's one way to look at Rav Nosson saying the bor is chayiv. The other way to say is that each one pays only half. But here's different because I found my dead shore in your bor. Whatever I could get from somebody else, I'll get. The rest you have to pay, which I don't understand the difference. But that is the reason why the bor is chayiv. The Korah is potter because he's a groma, and the bor is chayiv because he's either a full accomplice and he's chayiv everything that nobody else is paying, or bor for some reason does that, has to pay for the rest that nobody else is paying for. But this is only according to Rav Nosson. According to Rabbanan, the bor is potter legamri because he didn't fall in; he was pushed in. How far did we get? Till the 2 dots. 5 lines up. Amarava. This is opposite of banana peel. Banana peel is he slips on the banana peel, falls on the sidewalk. Here, he slipped on a stone and he fell into the bor. And the Bala Bor says the reason why he fell in is because he was pushed in by the stone. We had so far a case that a shore pushed another shore, Rav Nosson's case, a shore of Ruvain pushed the shore of Shimon into Levi's bor. And we had a case also of Amish that they call a Korah, that the noisemaker pushed the shore into the bor. And there was another case that a stone that was at the color caused that the shore should fall into the bor. In all these 3 cases, the Rabbanan will say that the bor is potted because he got pushed in, either by the noise or by the shore or by the stone. But the Rav Nosson says that's not a ptor, that while the bor is chayiv, even though he was pushed in. And that's what it says. Rav says this is another application of what we said before. According to Rabbanan, the bor is potter, according to Rav Nosson, the bor is chayiv. Pshita. It goes without saying. We know already that according to Rav Nosson, that's a machlokes. If they was pushed into the bor, is that a ptor for the bor or not? Ma'avatei masamut amabala bala bala shori lavdi biwa di tua di dach have a kotale. Avalach hamatziamale bala even the bala bor ilav biwa di dach avna di ma have a avda. You have a miskil bar of an awful bekoi. Kamash Malon, Damalei, Lab Evan, or have enough of the Biva. I just read the words, I didn't say an explanation. What is the Gemara's answer? There's going to be a Chiddush. There's not, I think the Chiddush is not going to be in the fact that the bar is Chayiv. Because of Nasna, the bar is put according to Rabbanan. The issue is the stone. Think that's the issue coming up? The issue is the stone. There's a man who put the stone over there, and then he fell to the bar. The bar is true, but according to Nasna, according to Rabbanan, is Potter, bar is Potter. According to Nasna, the bar is Chayiv. But the question is there a time on the Bala Evan?
Well, if the stone if he would have fallen by the stone, it wouldn't have been damaged.
Right.
He tripped.
Right.
Falling into a pit, then he for sure he's going to fall because he's
So
lost his balance.
so
Now he's on the ground.
the Gemara says this point that let's see that way the Gemara says it. Over there, the case of the shore and the bore that pushed the shore into the bore. So then the Bala Bor tells to the Bala Shore, which Bala Shore is that? The shore,
We are.
Mazik.
Oh,
In this case, the Bala Shore is shore and the bore. So the Mazikim, they're discussing which should be high. So the bore says to the shore, if not for my bore, your shore would have killed it.
mean, your shirt is also a mazik. It's high of clay.
Not only pushing into my bore. If my bore wouldn't have been there, they were fighting. They were fighting. There wasn't fighting to get into my bore. And if my bore wouldn't be there, the Mazik would have been able to do anything. Your shore would have killed it, even if my bore wouldn't have been there. And therefore, the shore is also responsible. But over here,
Half or something like that.
yeah, you're not going to pay double. So, but over here, the stone, the Bala stone, to tell to the Bala bore that my stone didn't do anything. Enough for your bore, why would my stone have done? He would have tripped a little bit, he would have gotten up. Just to read the words. Over there, the Bala bore tells to the Bala Shor Mazik, if not for my bore, your shore would have killed it. And therefore your shore is also chayiv. But over here, the one who put the stone could tell to the bore, if not for your bore, my stone, well, what would it have done? Even if it would have tripped, it would have gotten up and fine. Kamash Mallah. And so therefore the question is that the Baal Evan wants to get a p'tur. The Baal Evan wants to get a p'tur. And he says that my stone alone didn't do anything. Kamash Mallah Damalei, Evan lo have enough of the biro. The stone, the Baal Bor says, if not for your stone, the shore wouldn't have fallen into my bore. Therefore, you are responsible. And both of them are going to pay. According to Rabbi Nosson. According to, again, one more time, the Balabor is the Balabor Chayv, not that's Mahus Rabbi Nosson and Rabbanan. That according to Rabbi Nosson, according to Rabbanan, the bor is Potter. According to Rabbi Nosson, the bor is Chayv. The issue is over here, if the Ba'ala Evan has to pay something. That's going to be the Chiddush. According to Rabbanan, each one pays half. According to Rabbi Nosson,
I think that this is what we were discussing before. When we said the Bala Shur side and the Bala Bor side. Is that because the Shur itself would have been mazik or no? Just the Shur was the shafton to get it into the Bor. So the Havamin would be that the only time that the Bala Bor could come back to the Bala Shur and say, hey,
you also
have to
pay.
That's because the Shur itself would have been mazik. But if the Shur by itself couldn't have done anything, only Bitzir of the Bor, so you can't be Toveh from the Bala Shur, for sure not Kulei.
Why not? Not
Sure
true.
not Kulei. But nothing would have happened from my shore. It would have pushed it, it would have gotten.
And the bar also said, the bar says without your shore, it wouldn't have fallen in also. We still talk about Kuli Azeko, but we still talked about that.
So he tells him, why the shore? Your shore would have been mazik. And I had enough koach to be mazik. My daughter had enough koach to be mazik. It happens to be that the story that happened was with both of them together, but each one in itself was a full mazik.
But by the stone,
My thing wasn't strong enough to be mazik in Bechal.
so he wants to be
So you
potter.
would think, right? So he wants to be potter.
According to Rabbanan, he wants to be potter from half. According to
Not-
half, and the bar should have to pay.
Rabbanan
The Rabbanan would say half and half, and here what's going to be. The Evan's going to be potter, and I'm not sure what the Rabbanan will say over here. Maybe the Rabbanan say the bar is potter. The Rabbanan say it's potter because they have a new thing that you're not chayv, but some pushed you into my bar.
So what will they hold by Evan? I don't know.
Same thing. The bar says, yeah, you pushed me into the bar is only chayv if you fall into the bar. Someone pushed you, so the Rabbanan say potter.
Okay.
So the bar will be potter, and the question will be if the Evan should be chayv or not. And according to Rabbi Nosson, the bar is chayiv. And the question is if the Evan is chayiv or not. So the Gemara says the chiddush of over here wasn't as far as the It's the way he said it is really a little misleading. It sounds like he's saying if it's going to be half and half, or if Nosson says half and half, and the Rabbanan say that everything is on the bore. That's what he said. That's what Nosson said. But the Gemara says that the part of the bore being chayiv and that's not the main. That we know that it's totally Rabbanan and Rav Nosson. If the bore is a ptur, that he wasn't. That he has a ptor if it wasn't his own fault, if it was pushed in. That's machlok is fine. But the chiddush is that my point is to say that if the Evan has responsibility, the fact that it caused the shard to fall into the ball. A new machlok, a new issue, and not really lesson. It's not lesson Rabbanan talk. It's the Baal Evan chayiv. It's nothing to do with the Baal Bar. The chiddush of the machlok of Nosson Rabbanan was if the ball is chayiv and it was pushed in. Now we're talking about something else altogether. We're talking about if the Evan is chayiv by pushing it into the ball. That it wouldn't have done anything if there wouldn't have been any bore. Seems to be a side.
If you have a stone in the middle of a path, it's not going to cause damage, and it's not going to be chayiv anything.
But here it did because it's next to a
didn't
bore.
put it there because it wasn't there because of
It's
the bore. The bore is a mazik, and the stone is not a mazik.
the stone. You put a stone next to a bore, so it causes somebody to fall in.
So you want to say he intentionally put it next to
That
there?
doesn't make a difference intentional. That
Maybe
doesn't make a difference. It does make a difference if it's intentional or not. If
The fact that it was there.
so that means that he made a bore. He made a bore that could that he made a takola that could make something fall into the bore. So he's also a bore. Both of them are bores over here. It
Yeah,
does.
but he can claim that my stone wasn't by the bore. My stone
was,
for
it was-
people walking there,
it was
walking
by-
the opposite direction.
It's there. It's next to the bore.
Walking on the side.
It's next to the bore. The bore, your stone is next to the bore because somebody's falling. The short is going by could fall into the bore. So you're responsible for your takola. Now you have a shutip. Okay, you have a shutip. If the bore is chayiv, if the bore is also chayiv, you have a shutip. According to Rabbanan, you don't have a bore, so you have to pay the whole thing by yourself. It does trigger the question that if we said in the beginning of the day that if you put a banana peel and it falls onto the sidewalk, you put it.
Same shadow, no?
So how could you say that the Baal Evan is going to be chayiv? It fell to a bore. It's not my bore. If you say that making a stone, a banana peel, a stone, and someone trips on it and falls onto the something else, the sidewalk, you putter, like we pass in the Shulchan Aruch, so how could there even be chayiv over here?
Right.
A bore might be
I
different
don't
because
know.
of the depth. Bore is different because of the depth. The ground is the ground. If you trip on the ground, it's that doesn't necessarily cause damage.
Again, if someone puts a banana peel and someone tripped on it and fell onto the sidewalk and broke his leg, you say you putter because you didn't fall into my bore. The banana peel only caused you to trip, but you tripped on the sidewalk. So I'm not chayiv. That's what it says in Shulchan Aruch. And here it talks about that you put a banana peel, a stone, a banana peel next to somebody's bore and he fell into the bore. You're gonna say that the banana peel owner is yes chayiv. Well, it doesn't make any sense, l'chora. If the banana peel is only chayiv, it's not chayiv because you didn't get damaged from my banana peel. It just tripped you onto the sidewalk. See, it tripped you into somebody else's bore. Why should the Baal Evan be chayiv? Here the Gemara says that these 5 lines says that the Baal Evan is chayiv. The question is if the Baal Bor is chayiv or not. But the Baal Evan is chayiv. But why should he be chayiv if he didn't fall onto the Evan? He fell onto the bore. This is the Chori's explanation.
I think that's what Kibega is mitzvah to look in the Toysius. You see.
That's gonna say that
That says if you trip on a stone and fall on the karka, you're potter. And this Rashi can't do with it.
this Rashi or this Gemara. This Gemara, the Gemara says Hinei Cheven is chayiv. How is that going to fit with anybody that says that you're potter? If you fall on the sidewalk, you're potter. You fall on somebody else's bore, you're chayiv.
So Toysius over here says Kim Yesh Sham Takola Al Havur. Toysius talks about it. I don't know what he's talking about. Toysius got Chopres on the base and that Toysius. So he talks about this one also. First he says right that if you slip on the banana peel, I'll fall on the copy of purpose. Sure. Bava Kamma shows that the Chaver Leboy Bava Kamma even al pi Abba Bosher B'Nikolon Al Leboy Machayvim Ba'Poro. Yesh Lechali Kimen Sheyesh Sham Takola
Shame.
Shem Takola Al Labor. Mivad L'Ram. What does that mean? Kimen Sheyesh Sham Takola Al Right.
I don't know. Somebody else's bore. Okay, you tried. and we did an Amud. Okay.
The time was good, at least. So we're very back to schedule.
Yeah.
But